Hi, my name is Trey, and today I'm going to be talking about public speaking in organizations as well as written communication. First off, what I think consists of good elements that make a good speech is eye contact, tonality, and a limited use of body gestures. Eye contact is always important. It shows your confidence as a speaker, and it shows that you can capture the audience's attention. Non-wavering body contact is also very important because a lot of speakers really like to, talk with their hands, and they love to just, emphasize everything with their nonverbal communication, and it kind of takes away from the message that is trying to be sent across, and it also kind of shows some anxiety or nervousness as a speaker. In terms of tonality, it is very important for a speaker to kind of use a range of emotions to capture the audience's attention, because if you just talk monotone an entire time, then it's going to be pretty hard to understand or to even listen to. But the video of Melissa's TED Talk I thought was a great example of public speaking. She did all of those things, all of the elements that I just mentioned. She also didn't use any filler words, which I feel like is very important for being a good communicator. She did not extend her speech, or she didn't ever seem nervous up there. She knew what she was going to talk about. She seemed very prepared and organized, and that's another important part of communication, is knowing what you're going to say before you say it. Written communication is also very important across organizations, because a lot of miscommunication happens when supervisors think that all the subordinates understand all of the communication and the context in which they are talking about. In the example that is shown on our online content, there was a miscommunication because there might have been some new employees that didn't have a frame of reference for what the supervisor was talking about. An example for me in my work life is there was a memo put on our front board about how we all were going to be receiving raises. And some people didn't even know what they were getting paid in the first place, so that caused some misunderstanding to what we were getting paid hourly anyway. So really with that, the principle is you have to communicate on everyone on the same basis of understanding. Even though there are people who might know the procedures and the protocols, and they know what you're talking about as a subordinate, you have to make sure that everyone understands, and you want to communicate on the most simple level of understanding. And you don't want to only talk to the people who only understand, the people who've been here at the company the longest. You don't want to communicate on the basis that only they would understand. You need to communicate on the basis of, say, a brand new employee. And once you do that, then it becomes much easier to have fluent contact with everyone in the organization. There's also communication overload in the workplace, which happens when too much communication is happening at the same time and not enough messages can be transmitted. An example of this at my work is when it gets busy on a Friday night or a Saturday night. I work at Papa John's, so that means that there's dozens of pizzas being cranked out of the oven. There could be miscommunication as to which pizza needs to be made next, or which letters on the board correspond with which ingredients we need to put on the pizza. So it's very, very important that communication is very, it flows through the line of the pizza making. A way that we kind of deal with handling, the misorganization of all of our communication, it really just has to do with delegating tasks to other people. If I'm on the other side and I'm making a pizza, and it doesn't look like a pizza that's on the board, then I have to ask someone else, where is that pizza? Can you help me make it or help me find it? And what that really does is it helps build collaboration within your organization, and it also helps, for there to be, if everyone knows what is needed, then that means that there's no lapse in communication. Everyone is on the same page, and that just helps, make the mission more thorough, and it helps it become completed. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Have a great rest of your evening.